Okay, so I'm just going to start. My name is Hrafnhildur Ýr Víglundsdóttir. It's a very hard Icelandic name, and a direct translation of my name is Raven, War, Rainbow, Daughter of a Battlefield. So it's quite, I was actually born with the last name Valdimarsdóttir, but my father was very absent in my life, and his name means king. So first I was a daughter of a king, but then I needed more power, so I decided to be a daughter of a battlefield instead. Susie has told you a little bit, or Susanne has told you a little bit about me. I am born and raised in Iceland. My grandfather is American, so I'm from West Virginia. I'm a hillbilly, just so you know. I've never been to where my family comes from, but I plan to do that. As Susan said, I moved to a farm. I was raised in Reykjavik, but I moved to a farm when I was 5 years old, and my mom was a single mom by that time. And we just went up there for one lambing season. It was just supposed to be one lambing season, 6 weeks. But she fell in love with the farmer's son, and we never left the farm. And I wanted to, if possible, share. I'm going to send a share request to the host and see if I can share. Yep. I'm just going to show you my domain. So this is the farm that Susie and Susanne visited, and this is where I grew up. The name of the farm is Dæli, and I was a very active kid. I would say I was very anxious. I was an empath. I didn't feel like a lot of people understood me. And when I came out to the countryside, I could really feel that my nervous system just kind of settled down, because there was a lot of different things for me to do on the farm. One of my favorite places in Reykjavik, though, had been a cliff just above the house where my grandma lived. And of course, that cliff was full of fairies and still is, and I still visit it sometimes. But my favorite playground was here. If you can see where I'm pointing the arrow, you can see there's a lot of huge boulders here, and this is the fairy settlement at my farm. And this is where I went all the time. I walked up the hill and I went to play among the stones. And when I was little, I maybe didn't realize exactly what I was seeking there, but I just felt this energy that I was comfortable with. I felt that I was held. I was talking to someone. I didn't necessarily see anything, but I could feel that I wasn't alone when I was there. And there was an old farmer on the farm, and he was very spiritual, and he saw that I was sensing all kinds of things. And so I was always able to ask him what this was and what this was, and he told me. And he taught me to read the land and to read the energies of the land in a different way than maybe kids are taught now. And my mom, of course, didn't have that. Yeah, she didn't have that base. And my then stepfather, he always says, "I'm a box. I don't know anything about these things," even though his father was a very spiritual man. So I grew up on this farm in very close to nature, and I loved it. It was the biggest luck of my life to move to this beautiful place. And I will share a little bit more with you on the screen later. But so the nature became my playground, and when I was a kid, as I said, I didn't necessarily know what I was sensing, because the type of my or my what we call it, clairvoyance, or how I sense, is through knowing. I don't see, I don't hear, I know. So it was difficult for me to understand exactly what was going on. And it wasn't until later in life that I understood, when I went back as a spiritual awakened, let's say, person, to really be able to go there and ask questions and understand my relationship with this place and these energies that are there. So as I said, I was an anxious empath, and I found solace in nature, and I found solace in books. I could read when I was 4 years old, and books became my world where I escaped to, because there was a lot going on the farm, and because I was an empath and my parents weren't always in the greatest of balance, then I, of course, took everything in. And then there came siblings, half siblings, and I always felt a little bit beside the family. I don't know, but I've been struggling with this my whole life, just feeling that I'm always standing a little bit outside every single group that I'm supposed to be a part of. But that has nothing to do with the people in the group. It's just me. So that's something I've been working through my whole life as well. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you here know that feeling as well. Well, I did really well in school, and if I had been a kid now, I would have been diagnosed with ADHD, and because my head was always all over the place, but I had this ability to super focus. So I did good in school, but I was always really, really, really anxious. And because I did good in school, I felt this pressure to go into higher education, to go into university. I always wanted to be an artist, but the society told me that nobody would ever be rich of being an artist, and I couldn't be able to do all the things I wanted if I was an artist. So I went to university and I got my BS degree in tourism, and then I got a teaching degree as well. And I started to walk this path of life that I think everyone here is familiar of. It's where you slowly start working or walking away from yourself, and you start walking towards all the things that you think you are supposed to be doing, all the things that you think people around you want you to do, and everything that you think society expects from you. And because I was an empath, I didn't really, I think at the time, I didn't see any other way for myself. So I just kept going that route. And I started working, and I worked for the municipalities as a tourism expert. I worked for the Icelandic Tourist Board, started to climb the corporate ladder. I owned my own hotel, and I just was really focused on showing everybody my worth through what I was doing instead of who I was. So I think we all know how that feels as well, that we put our worth into what we are doing instead of what we are inside. And we are always looking for people to say, yes, you're doing good, because we can't feel it in our hearts that we are really doing anything. And maybe that's sometimes because we are not doing what our hearts are telling us to do. We are doing something very different. So on this path, I walked away from myself, and I had, throughout my whole life, I've had issues with my body image and my self-esteem. I had really, I would say, a bad relationship with food, and I hated my body, and I had really unhealthy relationship with men. I was always seeking love in the wrong places, and I was very, very far away from myself, I would say. And this, of course, brought me into places that weren't really healthy. I went into a relationship where there was domestic abuse, and I went into all kinds of friendships that weren't good for me. And there was all kinds of just unhealthy patterns that were repeating themselves again and again in my life, because I didn't know my own self-worth. And I was just focused on everything else than what my heart really wanted. And at this time, it didn't matter how many red lights were blinking when I was making a decision. I just went right ahead through the red lights, even though I knew I shouldn't be doing what I was doing at the time. So to make a very long story very short, I'm 47 years old now. And I sometimes feel very, very old. I've felt old since I was a kid. I think I was born with this feeling that I'm supposed to save the world. And when you're an anxious 10-year-old, this is not a feeling that's easy to feel, because you feel this huge responsibility, but you don't have the means to do anything about it. So when I was 10, I was writing poetry about nuclear weapons, and I was plotting how I should get somebody to write a song with my poem and how I should publish it so everybody could hear it and hear that it wasn't really a good idea to have nuclear bombs. So, you know, this was all circling around my head when I was just 10. And I've always had this calling of saving, I call it saving the world. So even through my job when I was a tourism specialist, I was heading big destination development projects in Iceland, and my focus was always sustainability, trying to save communities, trying to save nature, trying to save anything I could except saving myself. That was, of course, too difficult. I was very focused on saving somebody else instead. And then I got married and I got divorced. And after that, I met a wonderful man, and he is my husband now. We have been together now for 11 years. But he came with a package of 5 stepchildren. And these children, they brought us a lot of projects to work on. So some of them have had addiction problems. Some of them have been sexually assaulted. There has been a lot of trauma in my life, I think, just since I was a kid. And sometimes I feel I've been living many lifetimes in just this one lifetime. And then I think the biggest shock was when my mom was diagnosed with brain cancer in 2017, and she died in 2020. And that was kind of the last straw when she was diagnosed. So I went into a very serious life exhaustion in 2018. And I got really sick, and I couldn't do anything for 3 months except looking at Netflix and YouTube. I could barely go to the bathroom. I could barely take a shower. I was just completely exhausted. And I was trying to find ways to get better. So I went through the rehabilitation system in Iceland, this official system where you get like physical therapy, you go to some seminars, you try to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But the traditional ways weren't really helping me. And by this time, I was beginning to understand that all my decisions up to this moment had led me to this place. And the only person that could change anything was myself. Nobody was going to step in and save me. I had to find my own way, and I had to trust my heart. And that was really difficult, because the person that had been the worst to me my whole life was me. And it was really, really difficult to start trusting somebody that had been abusing you your whole life. And I think if everybody looks close, we can all see that the person that has been the worst is us. Yeah. So mom passed away in February 2020, just before COVID. And during COVID, the first lockdown, actually, I was sitting down with I have a big iPad because I'm a musician, and I have to be on stage and sometimes have the lyrics in front of me and things like that. So I just put a drawing app into my iPad for my daughter. But one night I took the iPad and I felt like, oh, I'm supposed to be drawing something. So, and I just started to open up to spirituality again. I mean, I started to dabble a little bit in 2007 and study healing and do all these things, but I was always focused on learning something to help others again, you know, never focusing on myself. And I think that's something a lot of us do when we start awakening. We start going to seminars to try to learn to save other people, because that's much easier than saving ourselves. And a lot of us have like dozens of seminars that we have taken, but we're not feeling much better, you know, because the focus isn't here. But anyway, I was sitting with my iPad and I started drawing, and I was drawing 2 or 3 pictures every single day, and I had no idea what I was doing. I felt that this was something important. I felt that this was something that I had to just keep leading or help channeling, or I felt I was channeling something, but I didn't know what it was. So I was sitting for 3 months almost, and I was drawing, and I drew over 100 pictures. And I was sending the pictures to my friend Alma, who is also my associate in Star Coach Academy, our school. And I was saying, what do you think this is? And she said, well, I don't know what it is, but it's really, really powerful. And we brought the pictures to other people, spiritual-minded people, and asked them, what do you think this is? And everybody said it's really powerful, but nobody could tell us what it was. So we thought, okay, we need to sit down and we need to connect with Spirit, and we just need to ask Spirit, what is this? And so we did. And the light being that we connected to was Archangel Metatron. He came in very strong, and he told us that within this bundle of pictures that I've already drawn were light codes from ancient Atlantis, light codes that had been present in the chakras of humanity since Atlantis fell. But when Atlantis fell, they had been turned off, the light codes. And they hadn't been, or the energy of the world hadn't been ready for them to turn back on until now. So our mission, or our purpose in the world now, was first to start by igniting these light codes within our own chakras. And we work with 12 chakras as a base. And so we started that journey. First, we went through the pile of photos or pictures, and we found the 12 chakras, the 12 light codes. And Metatron told us which light code belonged to which chakra. And then we went on a journey. And he said to us, the only thing you can do now is trust. I want you to meet every single week. Each week we will ignite one light code, and you will receive information about the light code and about the chakra. And then you have to keep a diary, and you have to put everything down every day, how you are feeling, what you're going through. And then you'll meet next week and we'll do the next chakra. And both Alma and I are very logical people, project manager, you know, the Excel files and everything, you know, we need proof. So, and trusting has been really hard for both of us our whole life. So we were like, okay, we don't have a choice. We're just going to do this. We were both, she was going through life exhaustion as well. And we were like, we don't have anything to lose. We'll just do it. And so our journey began. So for 3 months, we sat down and we ignited light codes, and we received information. And after these 3 months, Metatron told us, okay, now you do it again. You don't need to ignite the light codes again, but you sit down every week and you get information about the light codes. So we did that again. So for 3 more months, we sat in this energy and we received information, wisdom from the light beings, because with every chakra, there is a master or a goddess, there's an archangel, there's a dragon, sometimes a unicorn, and all kinds of light beings that are working with us. And after the 6 months, we said, okay, what are we supposed to do now? And Metatron said, look at everything that you have done. You have created a 9-month course where you are going to lead people through the transformation that you have experienced yourself in these 6 months. And we had completely transformed our lives by then. We weren't fully up to the energy level of going out to the job market again, but everything around us had changed dramatically, and we were feeling so much better than we had before. And the biggest change were that we were following our hearts. We were trusting our hearts and we were trusting our intuition. And we had the understanding that nobody could do this except ourselves. We had to take control of our energy, of our lives, and embrace the responsibility of being a human, you know. And one of the biggest things that I would say, one of my biggest discoveries was that I had been using spirituality to try to escape my humanity. I have been trying to use spirituality to escape from everything I was feeling as a person, and I just wanted to fly around and have all these good feelings and connect with all these beautiful beings, and which is of course very beautiful. But what I didn't understand was that being human is a superpower. We are both earth and heaven. We are the only creatures that are both. And that is a superpower. And we are just beginning to realize our superpower. We have just touched upon like 1% of it. And there's so much more for us to do here. So we started a test group that we took through a 9-month program in 3 months. So we basically just boiled their heads. But then in 2021, we started our first 9-month program, and we started our 5th group this fall. And this is the backbone of our school, Star Coach Academy. And we have created an advanced course where we are working with 5 more chakras. So we have channeled material for 17 chakras so far, both material and light coach. And we know that this winter we are supposed to sit down and channel material about more chakras. We have already started to see the chakras, and there is pressure from Metatron now to sit down and start channeling. I'm very excited about it because we haven't been channeling for some time now. So, and what we have channeled so far has been so profound that I just can't wait to go into that space again and receive more wisdom, because we have seen on the people that have gone through our course that they have completely changed their lives. And I think there's nothing as rewarding as seeing somebody live or be able to live by their heart, you know, to follow their heart, to follow their own wisdom, their own guidance, and understand the power of their inner light. I think that is so profound to see. And I'm so proud of all the people that go through our courses. I'm going to show you some of the light codes that I have channeled. It's different types of light codes. We have these ignition light codes that we use within our courses. Our course is called, the first course for the 12-month program is called Your Personal Transformation. And the advanced course is called Live Your Purpose. And then we have as well, we teach angelic Reiki. I'm an ancestral healing practitioner as well, which I think goes really well with what we are doing, and angelic Reiki as well. And then we are doing, we have an Icelandic membership called the Heart Field or Hjartagurinn, and we are going to start an English speaking membership next year as well. And that's basically just the online space where we are helping people grow, and we're talking about spirituality and growing together, which is just a beautiful thing where we can support each other. And then we also have different kinds of retreats going on, both in Iceland and abroad. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to share again my screen. Let me see. You can all see the picture of my farm now, right? Yeah. Okay. Almost there. There we go. Okay. So this is the light coat for the solar plexus chakra, the ignition light coat. So this is an ancient light coat from Atlantis. And the message that I always get with the light coats is that they are supposed to be experienced, not explained. So people often ask, can you tell me what they mean, or can you interpret them? But they don't want to be interpreted. They just want to be experienced. So this is the solar plexus light coat. And then this is the stellar gateway chakra light coat. It has a lot of elements connected to space, or energy connected to space. I'm pretty sure you can all feel it as you look at it. And then I channel personal light codes as well. And personal light codes is our own light fingerprint, because Metatron told me that when we communicate with beings from other dimensions, they don't see our physical form. They only see our light. And we all have a unique form of light, or a unique light formation, or whatever we want to call it. I just call it fingerprint of light because it's unique for every single one of us. So I channel that for people as well. And they are very different because, of course, we are all very different people. This is my personal light coat, one of the first personal light coats I channeled. And they are, as I say, they're all very different. They have different elements. And I have no idea what they mean, other than they are just our personal, this is how beings from other dimensions see us. And they are also Merkabas that we travel through time and dimensions with. And then I have channeled specific light codes for different treatment forms. So this is the light code that channels the energy of angelic Reiki. And this is a light code. And Alma and I, we travel around the world, and we are doing energy work and working with the earth, opening up light portals and clearing old energy and preparing ancient energy places for receiving new energy or renewing energy. And this is the light code that we bring into ancient stone circles. We've been working with this a lot in Scotland mostly, but in England as well. And it's very powerful to bring a light code into a stone circle. And then this is one of the system codes that I have channeled, and we will actually work with this code in our meditation later. This is the code for political systems that we can use to help us break down and renew political systems and build them up in a way that benefits everyone, with love as a focus. I know this is a lot of information and a lot of pictures and a lot of things. I could talk for a very long time. I have a lot to say to people, so. But yes, as I say, Alma and I, we have been friends for 37 years, and so it's our longest long-time relationship for both of us. She was 11 and I was 10 when we met first, and we travel around the world to do we call it community work, where we work with the energy, and then we, of course, our purpose here on this earth right now is to lead or help people transform their lives so they can live in accordance with their purpose here on earth. And I think I will just put an end to my talk right now and open up the floor for Q&A. Is there anything that you want to say first, the big boss of the meeting?